All right, welcome back, everybody. Episode 37 of the Yard by Yard podcast. Those watching on YouTube, hello, how are you? Yes, this is my apartment. I turned the TV off. Forgot. I'm going to be totally honest. I decided I was going to post the video on YouTube after I recorded. Realized I had a TV on. Lighting wasn't great. That's on me. That's on me. Lighting's a little bit better. I think it's nice. You got my lamp back there. I'm trying to block, and you got the window. It's got a little reflection going on, but that's the room. But here we are. Preview episode. We got some good games this weekend. Got four each, four college, four NFL. Some gambling stats, the usual. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna wait until the first college football playoff selection show comes out. When they give their picks to give my prediction on how it's going to shape up because I think it is going to shape up in a very interesting way. And I'm starting to get there with my takes and my thoughts on it, but I'm not fully there yet. Not fully there yet. So that is on the way. Just letting you know that's on the way. All right, let's get into it. First game, LSU at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is a minus 2.5 point favorite. The over/under is 48.5. Fun fact, this is the first time Vanderbilt has been favored versus LSU since 1948. Since 1948. That's how bad Vanderbilt's been at football. It's shocking. When I first saw it, I was like, "What?" And it's the first time they've been favored versus a ranked opponent in a very long time as well. Um, Vanderbilt is 4-1 straight up in their last five home games. The total has gone over in four of Vanderbilt's last five home games. In the past LSU Vanderbilt matchups, total's gone under, but LSU just beats the brakes off them every single time because Vanderbilt has been bad, and we all know that in the past. LSU is 2-5 against the spread in their last seven games on the road, so not historically, not statistically good against the spread on the road this season, and dating back to last season as well. They've been very strong against Vanderbilt, like I said, 5-0 straight up in the last five meetings. Nussmeier this season, though, he has not been what a lot of us thought he was. I thought he was going to be good. He has not thrown for 300 and plus yards in any game this season. Against ranked teams, he's 2-4 with 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions this season. So going into this game, a lot of the talk is, look, I've been saying it a lot. Brian Kelly could very well get himself into a situation that James Franklin did, and he can get fired. And if you lose a game like this, you were playing with your food last week against South Carolina. You ended up winning that game, but it didn't look pretty. And now you're playing a good Vanderbilt team, and you're not favored. Your offense has not been playing great. This is a Vanderbilt team they're not an easy team to beat at all. And you go in to play Vanderbilt at home. It's not like that's a cakewalk anymore. This is a good team. Diego Pavia is good. As much as he annoys me, he's good. I think Vanderbilt wins this game. And I think Vanderbilt really wins this game because I think they're just going to out physical LSU. And I think the Vanderbilt defense is really going to expose the LSU offense, especially by doing what a lot of teams have done against LSU, getting success on defense with and stopping the run because they don't have a run game. If you were putting everything on Garrett Nussmeier's shoulders, he's not gonna succeed, and he's not gonna play as good as he needs to. When he has balance, we know this with every single team. I've talked about it every single episode. If you're able to have balance for your team in the running and passing game, you're going to be able to have some success because neither facet of the offense is going to feel like they have to carry the load. Pause. So now you have Garrett Nussmeier, who is going to be faced with a difficult situation here, and LSU could lose this game. I'm picking LSU to lose this game. I think LSU goes to Vanderbilt. They go to Nashville, and I think Diego Pavia has a great game. And look, it's a good LSU defense as well. It's a great LSU defense. But I'm saying it now. Watch out, because if LSU loses this game, and you still got Alabama on the schedule. You still got Texas A&M on the schedule. You still got Arkansas on the schedule. You got some teams there. This could flip into the same Brian Kelly, the same James Franklin situation for Brian Kelly fast. I don't think it would be as fast, but I'm just saying don't be surprised if it happens because there is a path for that to happen and there's a way that that might happen. So if you're an LSU fan, I don't know if you'd be excited about that. I would be excited because he's obviously not the guy. He's not going to do it for you. And it's the same James Franklin situation. He's producing, he's getting you wins, but you know he's not going to get you there to the national championship game. Vandy's winning this game, and Vandy's going to cover this game. All right, next game. This is game day. Ole Miss at Georgia. Georgia is a 7.5 point favorite. The over under is 54.5. I love the under in this game. I think this is going to be a rock fight. Um, we have seen Ole Miss when they play good defenses struggle. The one game where they lit the world on fire in offense was against Arkansas, and they don't have a good defense. Georgia's been dominant at home in SEC play. They're 36-3 in their last 39 regular season SEC games. Offensively, they're averaging only about 415 yards a game, 186 rush yards a game. Sorry, guys. 186 rush yards a game. The rushing offense is the bright spot for Georgia because Gunnar Stockton's not doing much to light the world on fire in the passing game. He's completing 68% of his passes. He's only eclipsed 230 plus yards once in a game so far this year. Defensively, they're allowing 307 yards a game. They are rank among the top 20 in scoring defenses, only allowing 17 points per game. So the Georgia defense is back. They're still what they've always been. Georgia just needs better consistency and kind of prolific passing from the offense in the passing game with Gunnar Stockton, and he needs to step up. And this is a game that he needs to step up as well. This is the game to step up. Now, Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, the transfer, he's been great this year. He's been solid. He took that job from Simmons. He's thrown for 250 plus yards in every single start this year. He has been just lights out all over the field. And this is a game we're going into it. You're sitting there like, all right, well, do I trust Ole Miss enough to go into Athens and win this game against a Georgia team who the last time they had a top 10, they had a top 25 matchup at home, they lost to Alabama in an embarrassing way and in just a defeating way. Do we see Georgia here beat the brakes off them? I could see that happening, but also I'm starting to think maybe I don't trust Georgia because realistically, Georgia should have lost that game to Auburn last week. I know it was at halftime when that game flipped, but everything and all the momentum was going Auburn's way, and they were going to go up 17-0 before that fumble. It makes you also think, is Georgia trustworthy? So I think this is a game where it is a real test for both these teams. Whoever wins this game, I'm going to be able to, after this, be like, okay, I trust that team. If Ole Miss wins this game, I trust them completely because that is a great win for them. If Georgia wins this game, they win it convincingly. I can also trust them as well. I think what Georgia's going to have to do in this game is keep doing what they've been doing all year, running the ball effectively. But I want to see Gunnar Stockton do something. I want to see Gunnar Stockton play really good in the passing game. I want to see Gunnar Stockton light it up. I mean, Zachariah Branch, you had him transfer over from USC for a reason. Keep using it more and more and more. Used him a lot last week against Auburn. Keep it going. Now, for Ole Miss, your defense has to make stops, and the offensive line has to be able to handle this Georgia defensive front because, like every single year, they are one of the best, if not the best, in the country. So you have to be able to hold that and keep them in check, or Trinidad Chambliss is going to kind of suffer all game, and you can see an ugly game from the Ole Miss Rebels. I've got Georgia winning this game. I think Georgia's going to cover. I think Georgia wins this game by 10, but I think it's going to be a closer game early on, and then I think we maybe get a little backdoor cover at the end here from Georgia. All right. Tennessee at Bama. Bama is a 9.5 point favorite. The over-under is 58.5. Offensively, Tennessee is averaging 48.2 points per game this season. Their defense has been struggling though, particularly in the secondary. In some total metrics, their defense is ranked 100th. in metrics across the country, all these teams defensively. They are missing some cornerbacks for this game. They're missing Jermon McCoy and Ricky Gibson, which already weakens that struggling pass defense and just defense in general that Tennessee has had. They can get after the quarterback, but defending the pass has not been great. I mean, they only won by 3 against Arkansas last week. Now I'm going to go into Ty Simpson. I've been going on rants about Ty Simpson every week because he deserves it. He's been playing his ass off. He has 1,600 passing yards this season. He's averaging 279 yards per game, 16 passing touchdowns, and only one interception. Only one interception. This is going to be such a good quarterback duel. I'm going to pull up the stats on these guys. I just want to go up on the quarterback duel because, look, Joey Aguilar was the guy earlier in the season that I think we all were able to point to and being like, whoa, he is he's shocking us. And he was. He clearly was. He was playing a lot better. Let me get this pulled up. A lot better than what a lot of people thought. I mean, they won the Nico trade. All right, let's go over these stats. Joey Aguilar has also has 1,600 yards on the season with 14 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. They are what Tennessee has been since Josh Heupel has gotten there, and they are a team that can score quick and score in a hurry. And look, you're going into Tuscaloosa, Alabama team who is riding high off of a ton of great wins here over the past couple of weeks against ranked teams. And Alabama's, like I've said already, gotten themselves back into the conversation. Right now, I would say they're for sure the front runner. The other team for the SEC championship, the other team that's not being talked about a lot, is Texas A&M. Texas A&M is still undefeated. Marcel Reed is playing good football, and their defense with Mike Elko is playing a lot better here in kind of the middle part of the season than we saw earlier in the season. Sorry for the sniffing, guys. All right. On passing offense, Tennessee ranks 7th in the league with averaging 317 a game. And points, like I said, in 48.2 averaging a game, they're first. They're ranked first. Now, the Alabama defense and passing yards allowed, they're only giving up about 136 yards a game. And that is something, it's like we've seen in a lot of games we previewed. It's an an immovable object versus you guys know what I'm saying. I'm messing it up. I'm messing up, but you know what I'm saying. But this is going to be an exciting game. I think we're going to see points galore in this game because I think it's going to hit a point where Bama won't be able to stop the offense of Tennessee, and then there's going to be able to score a ton. They're going to be able to score a ton here. I wouldn't be shocked. Now, are we going to see I'm sorry, I had to mute it for. All right, you can hear me. I had to mute it for something, and it messed up my Zoom. Are we going to see Ryan Williams have a breakout game? Because he's played good in a couple games so far this year. He's had high catch games, but he's not living up to that potential that was built up for him all offseason after that spin move. If you think about it, if that spin move never happened with him against Georgia last year, are we talking about him as highly and in depth as we are talking about other wide receivers like Jeremiah Smith? I don't think we are. I don't think we are. This is a game where I'm predicting there's going to be a ton of points. We can see a breakout game from one of these wide receivers. Maybe it's Bernard. Maybe Bernard puts everyone on notice that he is better than Ryan Williams. But we're going to see points galore, and I'm excited to see what this game is going to look like. I have Bama winning this game, though. Bama's going to win this game. I don't think they're going to cover because, like I said, it's giving me a lot of points. But over right now is sitting at 58.5. I would still take it right now. And that's my biggest point about Alabama and Tennessee is that the points that are going to be happening in this game is going to live up to be the most fun game to watch on Saturday, in my opinion. Like, I think game day should be there because I think that's going to be a really good game. I mean, a lot of people are kind of not talking about Tennessee as much anymore because they lost to Georgia. They're still a really good team. Joey Aguilar is still playing at a high level. This Tennessee team is still playing at a high level. They just got some holes on the defense, and if it wasn't for that missed kick they potentially win. I mean, they're undefeated right now. They're undefeated. So a lot of weird situations. All right. Next game. Last game for college football. USC at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the 8.5 point favorite. Over under is 61.5. Rankings nationally for USC's offense. Averaging 552 yards a game in total yards and 325 passing, 226 rushing. Scoring, they're 45.5 points per game, so right there, um, up in the top three with Tennessee. They're number three. They're ranked third. Their defense, though, has been very bad. They're allowing 352 yards a game, giving up 108 rushing, 243 passing, and 21 points per game. Jaden Mavia, their quarterback, he's been playing really good. He's completed 123 of 171 passes, 1,800 yards on the year, 13 touchdowns, and only two interceptions. His main target has been wide receiver Mekhi Lemon, who has 44 receptions for six touchdowns and 682 yards. They have been playing really good. USC went in last week and beat Michigan, and really, it was a statement game to be like, hey, we're not just the West Coast guys that can't play defense, can't, USC might be back. USC might be building to where they're back. And look, this USC team, I think both these teams are going to make the playoffs this year. USC has a lot more challenging of a schedule than Notre Dame does down the road. I think if Notre Dame wins this game, it is a breeze. It is a cakewalk to the end of the season, because you're favored in most of every single game you have. You don't have a lot of tough games coming up. USC, you still have got some tough games in the Big Ten to play. Notre Dame's offense are averaging 40 points per game, 1,600 passing yards and 530 rushing yards. That is mostly coming from uh, sorry. Jeremiah Love in the past. Jeremiah Love in the rushing game has got 100 carries for 530 yards and 8 touchdowns, while CJ Carr has been the freshman, and he has been a stud to step in and play his ass off for this Notre Dame offense. He's got 105 completions for 1,600 yards and 13 touchdowns with only 3 interceptions. The CJ Carr we are seeing now and we have seen since the A&M game is a lot different than the one that we saw against Miami, who is his first start on the road in Miami. So, first game of the year, I mean, this guy's made incredible strides and taken incredible steps since then. And it's part of why their offense has been great. Their defense has not been good. So that's what's making me think that the over is in play here. But it is a very high over here at 61.5, especially for both these teams. When I see Notre Dame, I've never really thought over. Against the spread, USC is 1-6 in their last 7 games on the road, so not good. Straight up, they are 2-5 in their last 7 games on the road, so not a great road team. In 6 of 8 of their last games, the game has gone over for USC. In head-to-head, Notre Dame's 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games against USC. Notre Dame has dominated the series for the past, honestly, decade. And against the spread, they're 5-1 in their last 6 games at home against USC here. And the over has gone it's gone over in 6 out of their 9 last game. If they can win this game, they can make an easy run in the playoffs. And it's something that I didn't think was going to be possible after they, started 0-2, but with the cakewalk of the schedule they have, it's very well possible. I think Notre Dame wins this game. I think they win this game, but I think that USC is going to cover this game. I think they are. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I don't think the over is going to happen. I think 61.5 points is a lot, and I think it's going to keep going up too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets up to 64 or 63 at some point. So Notre Dame wins, but USC covers. All right. Let's get into Rams at Jaguars. We're into the NFL. We'll start this off. This is a London game. Banish all London games. I hate London games. The Rams are probably going to be out with Puka Nacua. He did not practice today as well. He's got the ankle injury he suffered last week against the Ravens. Passing game for them could look really different and not good. For Jacksonville, you have your top defensive player in Devin Lloyd, who's been great this year. He is out, so that's not good. Against the spread, the Rams are 11-3 in their last 14 games. The Rams are 6-0 against the spread versus the Jaguars in their last 6 matchups. The Rams are 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games away, and the Jaguars are 6-2 in their last 8 games against the spread. Now the over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between these two teams, and the Jaguars are 2-18 against the spread in their last 20 games versus NFC West teams. So historically, the Jaguars against NFC West teams are not good. The Jaguars are always the home team in London. The Jaguars are the team you think of when you think of if we were to move to London, the NFL, send a team out to London, who would it be? It'd be the Jaguars. They've been working on this. Seems like they've been pushing it for a while. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. Now, with Puka Nacua being out, you still have Devontae Adams. You still have a lot of weapons on the offense for you. You got Kyron Williams, who's been playing great as well, too. But there's something about you guys know I've been a Jaguars guy this year. The Jaguars are still playing good. They had a tough game last week against the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are for real, and that was a kind of a letdown game for the Jaguars after a great Monday night win against the Chiefs. I've got the Jags winning this game. I think this win the game by 2. I think Trevor Lawrence has a great game here. He's going up against a tough defense with Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk on the defensive line here for the Rams. But I think they're going to be able to hold them and win this game here for the Jaguars. So Jaguars by 2. All right. Eagles minus 2.5 at Vikings. Over under is 43.5. Now, this is the week that J.J. McCarthy is supposed to come back, but there's no word of him coming back yet. And Carson Wentz is also kind of questionable in the mix too, as he's got a shoulder injury. So who's the backup behind these guys? I'm pretty sure it's Desmond Ridder. And if you have ever seen Desmond Ridder play football, you know it's ugly and it's not good. So that could be trouble here. And I think this is just going to be an ugly game overall, guys. I really do. The Eagles are not looking good. The Vikings defense is great, so I think the Vikings defense could be the one that wins this game for them. The Eagles also have a ton of injuries. Cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, guard Landon Dickerson, Jalen Carter, and Grant Calcaterra are among the players that the Eagles have that are listed as questionable. Those are 3 of their best players right there. Top 2 defensive players and one of the best linemen on the team. Now, against the spread, in their last 19 games, the Eagles are 13-6, and against the spread on their last 9 road games, the Eagles are 7-2. The over is 6-3 in the Eagles' last 9 games, and the over is 4-1 in the Vikings' last 5 games. The Vikings have covered 4 out of their last 5 home games as underdogs. I'm going to say that again. The Vikings have covered 4 out of their last 5 home games as underdogs. We don't talk about how good of a home environment that Minnesota is, but it is one of the top environments for playing on the road. That is a very tough place to play. Starting off with the Skol chant and everything, it's a very tough place to play. I think the Eagles are going to find a way to win this game. And I think the way that they are is I think this defense is going to be pissed off. They're going to be upset about how the past 2 weeks have gone and everyone talking in the media. I think we're going to see the Eagles get back to running the ball. They've gotten away from running the ball with Saquon. It has not been good. I think we're going to see them run the ball mainly the entire game. And I think that we are going to see Saquon Barkley cook in this game. I got the Eagles by 7 here. They're going to get back on track and they're going to cover that spread. All right, next game, Colts at Chargers. Chargers are a 1.5 point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. Colts are 4-2 against the spread this season. The Chargers are 2-3-1 against the spread this season. The under is hit in 4 out of the last 6 Chargers games. The under is 3-3 in Colts games. The Chargers are 1-1-1 against the spread at home. I think the Colts are going to kill the Chargers. I think the Chargers are reeling. I think the Colts are legit. And the Chargers' offensive line issues with injuries is a problem. And I think it's going to be worse than it gets better. They squeaked away with the win last week against the Dolphins. The Dolphins should have won that game. They should have easily won that game. I am on the Colts. I'm all over the Colts here, and I think the Colts rushing offense, especially with Jonathan Taylor, is going to have a day here in Los Angeles. I think we're going to have Taylor. Probably, I could see him rush for 130 yards. I think he's going to have an incredible day. He's right now solidified himself as the best running back in all of football, and I don't think a lot of people would disagree with me on that. I think the Colts are going to kill the Chargers in this game. I think we are maybe about to put fraud watch on the Chargers here. I know they have a lot of injuries, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I've got Colts by 7. They're going to win this game. Last game, Buccaneers at Lions. Lions are a 4.5 point favorite. The over under was deleted. Let me pull up the over under right now. Over under is 52.5. I love that over. Oh my God, I'm taking that over. The Bucs are banged up. They're especially banged up at wide receiver. I talked about this last night. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Mecca Buka are all dealing with injuries. Their statuses right now are, questionable. We don't know if they're going to play. Tampa's also thin on the offensive line. So as I think they're the best team in the NFL, they're dealing with a ton of injuries. And if they're able to win this game with all those injuries, that even furthers my case and strengthens my case there that I think they're the best in the NFL. The right tackle, Luke Goedeke, and right guard, Cody Mao, and in the secondary, Zion McCollum and Benjamin Morrison are all questionable with injuries. However, you have problems in the secondary and injury-prone Lions. The entire secondary pretty much is out, backups and starters. It seems like you lose Kirby Joseph last week to the knee injury that he's been battling. Terran Arnold is already hurt. And now you have Brian Branch, who I said I stand with Brian Branch for what he did against the Chiefs. I think everybody else does in the world. But Brian Branch is now suspended for this game. He tried to appeal it today. His appeal was denied. Tough for Brian Branch. Tough for the Lions. But I think this is just going to fuel the over. I think we're going to see the over hit by a mile. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game because both teams are having issues in the secondary with the injuries. And like I was saying last night on the previous episode, the biggest plus that the Buccaneers have is the way they can spread the ball around and score, and they have so many weapons. You got Tez Johnson, who's going to be starting to play a lot bigger of a role, Jalen McMillan as well. So the offense has a lot of weapons, even though they are hurt and it's not good for them. They've got weapons that they can go to, and I don't think Baker will be worried about that. And as long as you got Baker, you're going to be all right. The same thing for the Lions defense. They're going to pull up guys from the practice squad who are going to be able to play their asses off. We've seen this time and time again with Dan Campbell defenses and just Dan Campbell teams in general. For the Bucs, the over has gone 4-1 in their last 5 games. For the Lions, the over is 8-4 in their last 12. In their last 7 road games, the Bucs are 6-1 against the spread. I do like plus 4.5 as well for the Buccaneers. This is a great stat to look at, though. The Lions have won each of their last 9 home games coming back after a loss. The Lions have lost each of their last 9 home games coming back after a loss. Hammer the Lions money line if you like that, because I think they're going to win this game, but I think the over will hit at 52.5, and I think the Buccaneers are going to cover, but I think the Lions are winning this game. I think the Lions are going to take advantage of the injuries that Tampa Bay has. And now, look, you can say, well, Luke, Tampa Bay is going to look to do the same thing with the secondary, and you were just talking about that. No, I did, but the Lions also have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and if they're not able to pass the ball well, I think they're just going to line it up and give the ball right to those two guys, and we could see those guys have a field day. Now it's going to be tough with our offensive line dealing with Vita Vea, but if I was a Lions fan, I would be very confident going into this game running the ball because you've shown that it can be effective, and you've shown that if your passing game isn't working, you just hand the ball off and you're going to have success there with Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. I've got the Lions winning this game. All right, everybody, that was the episode. For those watching on Zoom, appreciate y'all checking in. I mean, on YouTube, appreciate y'all checking in. Spotify, appreciate everybody always listening. Like and subscribe on the YouTube as well. I appreciate everybody listening. This will be fun. We're going to have a great weekend of football. Next week, I'll come back with 2 episodes on schedule as always. Everybody, I appreciate you listening. I always make these send-offs way too long. I talk way too much. I don't know why I'm still talking now. Enjoy the football. Have a great time. Appreciate you listening. Win your bets. Enjoy the football.